All right, welcome to the show. I'm Brent Buchanan from Pure Country in Fredericton, and our special guest on the show is none other than Riley Taylor. Riley!
Hey, how you
making out?
Hey, good man, good to be here.
Good to have you on the show.
Good to see you.
Yeah. What's it like to be Riley Taylor? What's it like to be New Brunswick's up-and-comer, the New Brunswick rising star in country music? What's it like?
I mean, I'd like to think it's just like being anybody else, I suppose. Sometimes you get to party for free, but outside of that, it's kind of cool. I kind of shy away from the whole, like, up and coming and look out for this guy,
You are an up-and-comer. You're a rising star.
I suppose so.
We'll get into more of that, of course, as we get to talking. But how'd you get started in singing? In writing songs, in performing. How did this all start?
I think it kind of all happened naturally. I suppose. I grew up with an uncle that played a lot. My grandfather plays a lot, and they both write a lot of their own stuff. And I always thought that was really cool. Yeah. We used to go to all the local like idol competitions and stuff like that. And it was kind of, I remember I used to have my MP3 and just like, oh man, if I could ever just, get on a stage somewhere.
Who were you listening to back then?
All kinds of stuff. I always liked Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash was kind of my first love. And then like Hank Jr. got into that. And then I always think of, there's these old burnt CDs that Mom had, and it was Leah's Mix number whatever, right? And it was anything from Eminem to Nickelback to Theory of a Dead Man, and then it would go to like Charlie Pride, right? So it was a mix of things, right? But I always loved the country stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. So what do you listen to now?
Now, I guess most of my like playlists and stuff are made up of a lot of the, whatever they want to call it, like the alternative country or the underground country or whatever. That's kind of starting to creep up a bit.
Alternate traditional country or something like that? Yeah,
so like, like the Tyler Childers and the Turnpike Troubadours and Cody Jinks. A lot of that stuff I really like, because it's just like total honest writing. There's no agenda. There's no target audience. It's just like that's what's coming.
And
out.
Sometimes it's down to just the bare. Like sometimes it's just an acoustic guitar and the artist.
Yeah, and I like that just for the simplicity, and like I find it's more relatable. Yeah. Like if you feel like you can go play it, that that kind of tends to.
That's why when you go to a house party, and most people that are playing will do a Merle Haggard song.
Bingo.
Because Merle Haggard is easy to, not for me because I don't sing or I don't play.
Yeah.
But if you're a guitar player and you're a singer, you're doing a Merle Haggard song.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of, you and I both know Merle was a great musician, great guitar player, but it's one of those things, if you can play one, you could probably play 10.
Yeah, because there's what, 2 or 3 chords on it?
Yeah,
and the truth.
Yeah, I think people like jamming to that.
Yeah. So you got to following your uncle and some family members. Yeah. When did you start picking up the guitar? Did you take any lessons?
I took lessons when I was younger, grade 3 or 4, and it was like the teacher was awesome. Yeah. And it was a really cool guy and stuff, but just the lessons themselves, like I wasn't into it really. It was all like, like theory based and more structured and that sort of thing. And it's just a bunch of stuff that like, I wish I would have kind of cared more about. Yeah. Because now I'm like, oh, I could use more of that now. But at the time I didn't do it. So I put it down, and probably, I don't know, midway through high school, probably grade 9 or grade 10, just started doing the cowboy chords and getting back into it a bit, and that kind of coincided with the going to house parties and stuff too.
Go,
so
exactly.
I don't know if that's coincidence or
Now, what about writing songs? Did you start writing poems and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden started writing?
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of liked that stuff. Yeah. But especially as a guy, it's like you're not supposed to
write a love song.
Yeah, like, oh, well, that's whatever, but. I always kind of liked it, and then just different people that I listened to, it was like, it would be cool kind of to try to write, something. I think it was probably later in high school, just messing around,
Do you remember the first song you wrote?
I'm pretty sure, and I think it was the first one. It was about a girl, and it was something to do with like the friend zone type thing.
The friend zone.
Yeah,
really?
Because like we were good friends, but that was all she thought of me as. Right. So I tried to convince her otherwise, but it didn't work. But I'm pretty sure that might have been the first one.
Wow.
But, yeah.
Okay. Do you remember the name of it?
I probably called it Friend Zone.
The girl I like.
Something. Yeah. Why don't you like me?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Let's go back 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
You wanted to go to Cavendish Beach Music Festival.
Yes.
And I don't think you had a ride, did you, or a place to stay?
Yeah, so I was originally, because I had my tickets, that was taken care of, and I needed a place to stay. So originally it was my cousin had a spot at one of the campgrounds there, and they're like, yeah, you can tag along with us, and it'll be great, and all this stuff. And then, so it's good. And then I think it was maybe 2-3 days out from the start of the festival, and she sends me a message, says, hey, they just let us know that we're only allowed a certain amount of people on our campsite, and everybody that comes has to register.
Okay.
So they'll know if you're coming through, you need your bracelet or whatever. And so you would have been the 5th, and sorry, but
you're out.
We can't take it. So I'm like, oh my God, right? So I wasn't sure what to do, and so I made a Facebook video.
So did you do a video or just a Facebook post?
Oh, it was a video. Yeah.
And pretty much, you were asking for a drive and a place to stay?
Yeah.
In return, you would be the campfire musician.
Yes, absolutely.
And how'd that work out?
It worked. It worked like a charm. I was at my buddy's place and going on about it, and I was like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do and all this stuff. He's like, well, let's make a video. And I mean, there was some liquid courage involved for sure.
Yeah.
I said, oh, that's awesome. So we. So you got to take it for me. You can tell that somebody's holding it.
All these videos back then were done in a garage somewhere, weren't they?
Yeah. This one was kind of the exception because it was on on his dad's back porch. By the pool. And I didn't have a shirt on or anything. Like it was. I watched it the other day again because it came up on memories.
So who took you and who put you up?
Yeah, it was a girl that I knew from high school, from Fredericton, Alexis Sakobi, and her and her father and her friend, they were like, yeah, you can come with us. We got a camper, we got a spot there, and
whatever works, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And was it last year or 2 years ago you performed at Cavendish?
Yeah, that would have I guess the year before last. I think.
I think 2 years ago.
Yeah, I should know. It's the year. 2 years ago, and it was really cool. That was through an online contest, again, another video on Facebook.
Yeah.
And that was the deal. If you win, you get the most views or whatever it was, and you get to play a Cavendish.
You played the Boots and Hearts Festival, which is the largest country music festival in Canada, just outside of Toronto.
Yep.
And how you got to the Boots and Hearts Festival is another contest. An online contest. Where did you have to do a song and a video? And
it was kind of it was really open for the format of how you could submit it, which is good if you know what you're doing. But if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're supposed to do. So I think it was Mom that was bugging me to do it. She seen it somewhere, and I said, yeah. So I had a video that I'd already had on YouTube, like just posted on YouTube out in the garage. Yeah. And it was just a Luke Combs cover, and I said, well, that's my best work.
That's my best
Send
work.
it in, right?
There you go, yeah.
And didn't think a whole lot of it because I went back and looked at the years before, and it was all like
professionally
legit.
done?
Oh yeah, like music videos and like original songs and full band stuff. I'm like, whatever.
Production crew and everything. Yeah.
We'll see. And they pushed me through to the top 8 or whatever. And we'll see you at Boots, I guess. And
so you had to go up to the Boots and Hearts Festival, and they do the Rising Star contest on the Thursday night, is it?
It would have been that Thursday, or the first night of the festival. And so you go with your top 8, you get there. I didn't know where to go, who to talk to, whatever. Their team there was awesome because that's the only way I figured my way around. And then I finally got there and passed this big group of people because I'm like, oh, there's no way, like that's not. I was picturing there'd be 8 people there that kind of look like me and don't know what they're doing. And these guys all had their management there. And,
really?
Like their whole team's there, and I was like, oh, like
wow,
this is crazy, right? So they're like, oh, are you that Riley guy? I'm like, yeah. And you could tell they're kind of side-eyeing and stuff because I'm just there, just me and my guitar, like, hey, what's going on?
Did the rest of them have full band?
Yeah,
really?
And like, like top-notch musicians and stuff. And I was like, this is, good to be here, I guess.
Yeah.
And free trip.
And how many songs did you get to do?
We did, I'm pretty sure it was 2, and they wanted 1 original and 1 cover for the first day. Yeah. And then when they narrowed it down to the finals, it was 1 song of your choosing. It could be cover, it could be original, whatever you want. Yeah. And so it was kind of nerve-wracking.
And was the crowd like a full?
Yeah, I mean,
like
they were
30,000 people.
Yeah, they did it. The first round they did it just before like all the headline acts started going. So everyone's there. Yeah. And because everybody wants the good spots for the main act and all this stuff. So it was it was different than my normal gig.
But you got to meet a lot. You met a lot of up and coming artists in Canadian country music.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah. A lot of people that I still talk to and still see what they're doing, and they're all doing great. All the same. It's cool, really, because I didn't have a lot of exposure to like other artists and how that worked, and I thought it'd be more chippy kind of thing. And so I didn't want to get too
they all had their own group and
I didn't want to get out of my lane too much or whatever. But everybody was pretty cool, and because we're all in the same boat essentially. So it was cool.
All trying to get a piece of the pie.
That's it, man. Yeah.
So we're shooting this show in March, airing of course later on. Since the taping of this show, you had the opportunity of opening for Brent Kissel and Jade Eagleson. How many shows?
Just the 2 shows, one in Moncton and one in Fredericton. Yeah. Which I guess like a full circle type of thing. That emerging artist showcase at Boots and Hearts, Brent Kissel was the headliner. Right, yeah. And that was the big thing. The finalists got to meet Brett and go meet the crew on his bus and all this stuff. Yeah. And it was, I think I said it that night too, just, again, after a couple. I'm gonna play with him someday or like whatever, right? We're gonna be on the same poster at some point. Like
and there you are.
Making a promise to myself type thing, and
yeah. Brett is a great guy. He's down to earth, and he's a social media. We should take lessons from him because I'm not very good at social media.
Absolutely, that's what my guys are saying the same thing.
He's a genius when it comes to marketing.
It's wicked. Yeah, it's wicked.
I think he's under the same management of Garth Brooks, I do believe. Garth and his management's the same, I think.
Could be. I'm not 100% sure, but it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. I mean, the guy is genius with marketing.
And he put a video out on social media saying, I need to get a hold of Riley Taylor. Yeah. Does anyone out there know how to get a hold of Riley Taylor? I want him to open up for one of my shows or a couple of my shows. Yeah. And that sort of went viral, didn't it?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, it was funny because that was, I'd known that they were going to reach out at some point, but I wasn't sure how or what the scoop was going to be, right? And I definitely didn't think it would just be Brett doing a video and putting it on. And I guess he kind of jumped the gun on when it was supposed to be. It was like 2 days before or whatever. Right. So everybody was like, oh my God. Yeah. Like, no, because they told me not to tell anybody. Right. And all I seen was like, when you just click your phone open and like.
And the messages?
Yeah. Oh, congrats on the Brent Kissel thing. Did you see the Brent Kissel thing?
Did you get a hold of Brent?
And I'm like, no. I must have told somebody and like whatever. I thought it got I thought I messed up. So I'm like, God, I got to get a hold of that team and apologize. Or can I still play?
Exactly.
And no, I guess it was just it was earlier than expected. But it was
cool.
It was still pretty cool. Yeah. Kind of cooler, really.
Have you been down to Nashville? I know part of the winnings of the Boots and Hearts thing was to send you down to Nashville for a songwriting thing, or
that went a little astray. Like
went sideways?
Yeah, absolutely. Which was no fault of anybody, really. It was everybody was still dealing with COVID stuff, and it was right at the tail end of COVID, which would have been the biggest culprit of
totally
what all went down. But on my own account, I went to the CCMAs in Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
I had some money set aside, saved up for something of that sort, and I said, yeah, screw it, I'm going to go to the CCMAs just to see, like just see what's going on. Yeah. How, kind of how they operate and that stuff. And so I did that, and then while I was there, I think it was 5 days or something like that. So I'm going to go to Nashville. I got my passport and all that.
You went from Calgary to Nashville?
Yeah.
Really?
And again, just to see.
Yeah.
And it was, I knew one guy there, and it was Ben Chase, and he's from
I know Ben from
Prince Edward Island.
Yeah.
So that was, I was hoping anyway that he'd kind of, at least tell me where to go.
Show you around.
Yeah. So he was really cool about that. He's a big supporter of guys like me and anybody anywhere really, but especially East Coast guys,
Yeah, exactly.
East Coast guys in Nashville, we gotta,
You stand out like a sore thumb.
That's it. Yeah. So it was pretty cool. It was really cool. And it was. I noticed too when I was in Calgary, everybody thought I was from Newfoundland.
Really?
And then when I went to Nashville, everybody thought I was Irish.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, neither.
You don't sound Irish to me.
I didn't think so, but. It was just something I took note of anyway.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the CCMAs in Calgary. Did you have a chance to meet some of the different artists or management or booking agents or?
Yeah, we not like I had planned.
Yeah.
I had in my head like I'd just bump into somebody and then that would
They'll take me under their wing.
My whole life.
Yeah.
But just kind of passing by and I'd seen a lot of people, but I didn't. I get too, nervous or whatever.
But you're talking to a lot of people now in the business.
Yeah. It's kind of, I'd rather be approached than approach, because, just because you never know how people will take it or if you're overstepping. And you don't want to be the annoying guy too that nobody's heard of.
Right.
That's, hey.
But a lot of people have heard of you already though.
More than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's always nice.
Yeah.
When, it's somebody that you'd never expect. Hey man, love your stuff or whatever. Really? Like,
exactly.
Cool. So it was the first one was more like the fly on the wall type thing, and then this last year in Hamilton, I went again, but went like kind of with a team this time, and we did a showcase and all this stuff. So we got to kind of meet, shake more hands, and do it the more structured way.
Right.
Anyway,
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So, like a plan. You had a plan before you went.
Exactly. Yeah.
When you went to Nashville, did you go to the Opry? Did you go to Tootsie's?
Yeah, so I did a couple nights on Broadway.
I love Broadway.
It was, it was. Well, it's just like it doesn't seem real. Kind of like you're just walking up and down. You see all these like historic spots. And like, oh, there's Ernest Tubbs record shop.
I know.
And, there's Crossroads and all this stuff. And it's like it's almost so much to take in that you kind of. It's hard to absorb.
Well, when I was at Tootsie's, I'm sitting in Tootsie's, and so many songs were written at Tootsie's, and out the back door of Tootsie's is the Ryman Auditorium where the Grand Ole Opry was, and just the hair on the back of your neck is standing up, and you're like, oh man, like just the amount of, like Dang Me from Roger Miller, I guess, was written on a napkin in Tootsie's, and just the list of songs that were written there is just crazy.
Yeah, it was really cool. I liked Broadway a lot, and then Ben kind of let me know too. It was kind of Ben. He was like, "Yeah, you got to go to Midtown."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, like I didn't know what that was or anything." But I guess that kind of where all the modern songwriters and the guys just cutting their teeth there and stuff. That's where they'll hang out and they do their their writers rounds and stuff like that. And that was like, that's when I was like, okay, this is Nashville. Yeah. Like, okay, this is like
the Bluebird Cafe, and that's where like
kind of more of that style.
Yeah.
There's a few like. I can't remember the names of them really. There was like Live Oak and the Local and just bars, but that's where they had like guys that you would never have heard of.
Yeah.
Just belting out songs that are like some of the best songs you've never heard.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And like it was just I was trying to get as many videos as I could because I knew it would be a long time if ever I heard those songs again, and it was eye-opening for sure.
Yeah. So we're going to go to break.
Yeah.
And we're going to come back in just a couple of minutes, and an original song, unreleased too, right?
Yeah.
Unreleased, never before heard. Leavin' Me Now by Riley Taylor, coming up. All right, welcome back, and thank you very much for tuning in. We have a special treat for you in the studio, live, at one of his originals. It is Riley Taylor and Leavin Me Now.
I ain't religious, I ain't ready to repent, but Lord knows I'd pray for you, 'cause girl, you're heaven sent, and I'd be lying if I said you weren't the one, 'cause you know and I know better without you I'd be done. Yeah, I'd come I hate that it's true how bad I am for you, but I'm trying, yeah, I'm trying, and I'm gonna change, 'cause sorries can't replace all the hiding and tears you're crying, but I know somewhere deep down you believe me, or you'd be leaving me now. I hate confessing, but there's one thing I've gotta say. If you can find the will, well, maybe we can find a way to get back to all the days you weren't runner-up, to the late nights in the bar flies, throwing dollars in my cup. I'd come home drunk, but I hate that it's true how bad I am for you, but I'm trying, yeah, I'm trying, and I'm gonna change, 'cause sorries can't replace all the hiding and tears you're crying, but I know somewhere deep down you believe me, or you'd be leaving me now. I hate that it's true how bad I am for you, but I'm trying, Lord knows I'm trying, and I'm gonna change, 'cause sorries can't replace all the hiding and all the tears you're crying, but I know somewhere deep down you don't believe it, because you're leaving me now.
All right, Riley Taylor. Thank you, Riley, for coming on in the studio. The song we just heard, Leavin Me Now, an unreleased song written and recorded by Riley Taylor. And if you know someone who is a singer, songwriter, has his or her own material, by all means, let them know that they can find me on Facebook, and we'd love to have them here in the studio. Thank you very much for tuning in. More shows coming up in the future. I'm Brent Buchanan from Pure Country in Fredericton.